excited to bring you another really quick little bridge target. You know that I love bridge. If you have visited me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, my website, I am obsessed with bridge. It is so effective. It's gonna work your seat, it's gonna work your hamstrings, it's gonna work your core. It is a wonderful, wonderful exercise. And today I'm bringing you bridge with the added fun of loops. So if you've done another one of my loop videos, you know all about these. You're welcome to fast forward to the exercises. If this is your first time kind of getting an introduction to the loops, let me go over it very quickly. I just have kind of a ragtag collection of loops. If you're interested in recommendations, I'd be happy to give them to you. I have everything from a heavy down to a light. And I'm going to recommend that you get a little collection as well, because you're going to want to layer sometimes to get the right amount of resistance that you need. So I'm going to start this segment with, actually I'm going to start with a heavy, which you can see has very little give to it. And I'm going to take the heavy and I'm going to slide it up above my knees, right around my thighs, so just a couple inches up above my knees. And then I'm going to take, this is kind of a light medium. It's somewhere in between the two, but you can see that it has a lot more give than the one that I already have on. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to slide it right over the top of the previous one. So if you layer, you want to try to stack them one on top of the other. If you have them staggered, they'll kind of start to roll on top of each other a little bit. And I'm going to see how this feels. You need to judge how much resistance is necessary for you. Remember, challenge is good, but loss of form is not something that we want. So if you have so much resistance that you can't keep your form, especially the alignment from the hips through the knees, then take it down just a little bit. So for bridge, we're going to come down onto our backs. So we want to take the feet about hip bone or sitting bone distance apart. So they're a little narrower than the actual width of your hips, right? So if you lift your head, you should not see your feet. We don't want to be out here. So once we've got the feet placed, because of the loops and the resistance that we have, your knees are automatically going to want to kind of knock together, because that's the way the loops are going to pull your legs. So you want to make sure that you're pressing enough into the resistance of the loops that your knees line up with your hip bones. And you can actually put the heels of your hands on your hip bones, stick your fingers up, and then just kind of visually draw that line straight up the center of the thigh to the center of the knee. So once you've got that alignment in place, you should already be feeling a little work in those outer hips, just to hold the knees in line with the hips and the feet. Take a moment, just anchor your shoulders, lengthen out your neck, and find that neutral spine. So your ribs and your hips are on the same plane. And we're just gonna lift and lower into a full bridge. So you're just gonna exhale as you come up and inhale as you come down. Exhale as you come up, inhale as you come down. You wanna think about your torso from your chest to your pelvis kind of being like a board. So it never changes its shape. Those ribs and hips are always connected to each other. And what I mean by that, keep doing your bridge, is you don't want to arch your back, dropping your tailbone toward the floor, nor do you want to really tuck your pelvis under and round. You just want length and connection through your center. And you're exhaling on the way up and inhaling on the way down. We're going to do about 4 more of these. You should be starting to feel the seat, maybe the hamstring, the back of the thigh. Make sure you're pushing into your heels as you lift. Next time, let's hold it at the very top. And let's just pulse the hips up toward the ceiling. So little tiny up and squeeze. Squeezing the seat, pressing into the heels, making sure those knees are still in line. with those hip bones. So you're still pressing out into the loops, and that's giving us that outer activation. And we're breathing. You can take an inhale, 2 pulses, exhale, 2 pulses, and let's go for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and gently come down. So feet are going to come together, feet and knees. Everything is going to touch. We're staying in that parallel position. We're going to do a few of these slowly, and then we'll speed it up. So you're going to lift yourself up to the top of your bridge. Then you're going to push out with your thighs into your loops. You can come to the outer edges of your feet. Close the legs, come to the flat foot, and then lower back down. Let's do one more slowly. So you're going to lift straight up, press the thighs out into the loops, close, and release down. Let's speed it up a little bit. So let's go up and out and in and down and up and out and in and down. Just breathing intuitively here. It's important not to hold your breath. Core activates better, right, when we continue to breathe. So when you open your legs, try to think about pressing your hips up toward the ceiling. Otherwise, there's this automatic dropping of the pelvis as the legs open, and we lose some of that muscular activation. Let's do about 4 more of these. Just like the other loop segments, these exercises are designed to be cumulative in terms of effect. Remember, you can always layer this one with a few other segments for a complete lower body workout. I think we have 2 more. You know what bar teachers are like, we always add 1 more. And release. If you need to, you can always bring your knees up in towards your chest, release those muscles. I'm just going to talk you through the next setup. So we're going to go back to that sitting bone or hip bone distance apart position. So if you take a bar class, you know what a V position or a first position from ballet is. That's what we're going to take here. So you're going to bring your heels together. Your knees and your toes are going to point out toward the corners in front of you. You want to make sure that you're turning out from your hips so that knees and toes are pointing in the same direction. You should really feel the resistance of those loops now. So once you're in that first position or that V position, you just keep pressing your thighs out into the loops, and we're going to come up into bridge and lower down. So it's just like the first exercise. Exhaling up and inhaling down. Every time you move, you want to make sure those thighs continue to press out into the loops. So this one's taking it even more into the outer edges of the seat. So you can rest on your soles, the soles of your feet, or you can rest on the outer edges of the feet. It's a little bit of a personal preference, and it's whichever feels more comfortable with your knees and your ankles. So we're going to do about 4 more of these. Keep pressing out, exhaling as you come up. Good, we've got 2 more. 1 more. And then we're going to lift it to the top. Keep pressing out with those thighs and pulse your hips. Little up and squeeze, straight up toward the ceiling. This is where that burn should really be starting to set in. So breathe through it. Inhale 2 pulses. Exhale 2 pulses. Keep pressing those thighs out as we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Very quickly, bring those knees up into the chest. Release. Take an inhale. Take an exhale, and we have 1 more exercise. So the feet are going to come back out to that hip bone or sitting bone distance away from each other. We're going to come back into that neutral spine, ribs and hips on the same plane. Anchor your shoulders for this one. So we're going to start with the right leg lifting. So you want to think about starting already to take some of the weight out of the right leg. So you've got weight in your left heel and you've got weight at the base of both shoulders. We're gonna come up with an exhale, down with an inhale. Up whoop, with an exhale, down with an inhale. I'm not even gonna fix that because I'm going to use it as a teaching moment to tell you, except that it's pinching me, to tell you that sometimes your loops will roll. If they do, please, please feel free to pause the video and fix them. I'm just gonna do a partial fix of mine right now. So probably in this particular instance, I had the loops a little too high on my thighs for this exercise. They should be a little closer to the knees. Let's do 2 more. Exhaling up, inhaling down. You get to see some real life. And release. So before we switch sides, if your loops did anything weird, please feel free to take a moment to adjust. Again, I'm just going to partially adjust. And then bring those feet back to hip or sitting bone distance. Neutral spine. Start to take some of the weight out of your left leg. So you've got it in your right heel. You've got it at the base of both shoulders. And when you're ready, exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Even though you only have one side planted on the floor completely, both hips are lifting together. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Really push through that right heel. Good. Try to relax your arms a little bit so you're not using them. You can use the base of the shoulder, but don't push up with your arms. I think we have about 4 more on this side. 2 more. Last one. And relax. Let's bring those knees up into the chest. Let's take a little rock, side to side. So after any of these loop segments, figure 4 is a really good stretch to take. So let's just slide those loops off. Place the left foot on the floor, take the right ankle across, open up that right leg. You might be fine staying right here. If you want to, you can bring both legs up, in toward the chest, and breathe. And just remember, you can take as long as you need to stretch after these segments. Let's bring it down, switch sides. Left ankle crosses right thigh. Open up that left leg. Stay here, or you can bring it in. Hold and breathe. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message. I hope you love this segment, and I will see you soon.